Hey everybody, welcome to Montgomery College Television's Endless Sea of Green. Well, maybe not so endless because the edges of the green screen are just a few feet away from me, but you're not supposed to know that. So, you're probably wondering what I'm doing here. Well, I'm here to introduce you to MCTV's newest and probably one of their most expensive toys, the all-in-one virtual set. With just one snap of my fingers, I can go from here to here, or here. Now let's find out how this new technology will help improve your experience as a viewer.
And the cool thing is I don't get to do that on my own. I actually engage with
Carolina Galeano is an alumna of Montgomery College and currently works as a producer for Montgomery College Television. She was the first producer to interact with a virtual set, so I asked her to share her experience.
It's a 3D space that you can create with a green screen, right? Whereas a trackless studio is the technology that allows you to have virtual camera movements. So the cameras are not actually moving, but in the virtual studio, you can create that movement from point A to point V. So you're actually programming the movement of those cameras separately.
Galeano produces Generación Latina for MCTV. The show highlights the voices of Montgomery College current and former Latino students.
Generación Latina was the first show that we sort of experimented with the virtual set. And it basically meant that we had to worry not just about lighting the people on the set, but making sure that the green screen was very evenly lit. This took 4 days, and even that I think is an accomplishment because we were dealing with new technology that we had just learned to use. There were a lot of challenges for sure, but I loved the way that it looked.
Preparing for a virtual set requires pre-building of a background environment, setting camera angles, and especially lighting.
I think viewers who are watching a show from MCTV that has been produced in this virtual set will get to see something that speaks to our innovation. It speaks to our ability to work with different technologies and to engage students in that process. And so, for example, the show that I produced was very visually driven. There were a lot of pictures, so a lot of show and tell, and I think it works really well. And you want that. When you're telling a story for television, it has to be visually driven.
I mean, in this case, you're obviously gonna have that monitor.
But at the end of the day, a technology is just a vehicle for your message. You could have the most amazing technology, and you really won't get to that audience. So I think ultimately it's about the message you craft and how relevant you make it to that audience.
Virtual set technology is in high demand. That means an abundance of opportunities for students.
The opportunities to learn, for example, how to design a 3D object and then put it in a 3D space. I mean, there's so much that you can do with this. This really is a great way for students and for interns to learn skills that are going to be valuable right away in the workforce.
After getting first-hand perspective from Galeano, I talked to Neil Lee, an MCTV Broadcast Engineer, to find out the challenges implementing the brand new virtual set.
Expression has millions of features, let's say. And as far as our present studio setup, the contemplation is really about smoothly integrating this new item into our system. So one of the first things we had to think about was audio delay. So the importance of audio delay is you have signal processing. So in our system, we have cameras, and pretty much that's the video feed on its own. And then you have audio, which is separate. So when you introduce a new piece of software or hardware, you actually have to consider how the audio is going to line up with the video with more digital processing. So that was one of the more important things we have to think about. But overall, expression has been rather simple because it's more of an addition as opposed to something that's separate. Because we already have the Ross Vision switcher and expression is actually designed by Ross.
Applications for these virtual sets are endless. They can be used for newscasts, sports programs, entertainment, and this technology seems to be a favorite of the weather channels. You can see why. Wow, there you have it. Now that you're in the know on Montgomery College Television's all-in-one trackless studio virtual set, you better tune in to see how it will be used in the future. For EFP TV, I'm Peter Pereyra.